Hey guys, VideoJames, and today is going to be the second in the How to Draw series, and it's going to be How to Draw Charmander. Now, Charmander is probably one of the easier drawings I have in my drawing notebook. I have my drawing notebook where I actually draw stuff to keep next to me to look at the drawing so I can know what I'm supposed to be drawing, because I can't just draw stuff from memory. I have to have a picture next to me so I can be able to tell what I'm supposed to be doing. So, this is going to be How to Draw Charmander, and forgive me if I don't really draw it as good as it could be, but I have to have a whole bunch of crap balancing this Kindle to get it at the right angle to where I can record this, and it makes it a little bit difficult to move my hands around all this and try and get the pencil to the paper, but let's just see how it goes. So, first thing you actually want to do for Charmander is you want to kind of draw like a sort of a D for his head. And don't none of you in the comments be making those jokes. I know what kind of comments you guys are going to be making. No. Bad. None of those jokes here. You want to make those jokes, go over to like Jacksepticeye or PewDiePie's channel or something like that. But with Charmander, because his head's kind of got a back to it, so you want to draw up in a straight line and then kind of curve towards the top. And then make kind of a circle as you're going around. And that's a crappy circle. See what I mean by I said it's not going to be that easy? Because I got to have my Kindle balanced on so much stuff to where it's hard to even do stuff. So you got to make the circle. Like that. There we go. That's a lot better. Okay? And then normally what I do after that is I try and draw the outline for the rest of the body and the drawing, because that just makes it so much easier. So then what I do is I normally go down, make a line to about there for his stomach, and then make a line over here and curving up for his tail, because Charmander's got kind of a tail going on. And then, since the arms of Charmander, the way I draw him, are kind of connected to the head, you can kind of simply just start with the top of the arm from the front head. So, when you go for the arm, what you want to do is you want to do this. Go in a straight line kind of down. And then you want to make Charmander's two little fingers, because he's got those weird fingers. He's got like these things. Yeah, like that. I have no clue what kind of fingers those are supposed to be. But you want them to be a little smaller because of the perspective I'm drawing him in. Well, I guess I should say I want him to be a little smaller, but you want him to be a little bit smaller. Like this. And you don't want him going all the way towards the line, because the stomach's going to have to be drawn at some point, and it goes over this arm. So you want to leave about that much room for the rest of the stomach. And at this point, you can probably start drawing Charmander's head, because this will make it a lot easier to get through the rest of it. So, for drawing the rest of Charmander's face, you can basically go down to... Let me fix the circle for a minute. And I am going to record Spider-Man tomorrow. That is a promise. I'm not falling back on my word. I just left a little bit of a gap in between this episode and the last one, just so that I didn't have to try and keep the consistency up and keep it to where I couldn't record. But anyway, when you're wanting to do the rest of Charmander's face, kind of go about halfway to where the circle starts to go back inward, and then make sort of a curve going out this way, then a line going in, and curving up towards the back. Kind of like a smile. And you want it to be a little bit higher than that. Why can I not... See, I told you, this is screwing me up, because it's supposed to be like a curve, and I'm screwing up so bad it doesn't even look like a curve. So you want it like this. There we go, a lot better. And then curving up about here. And at this point, you can erase this line and get rid of a little bit down here because the mouth of Charmander is going to go right there. So make the rest there. Then, like I said, this is where Charmander's mouth is going to go. So you want to make a sort of a curve going underneath his mouth. Well, his upper lip, I should say. Going underneath his upper lip and then curving back up to where the back of the smile is. Should probably fix that smile a little bit. There we go. And then you kind of make the teeth for Charmander. You gotta just make little itty bitty triangles with my perspective. Like I said, you can make them however big you want. But for right now, I kind of gotta make them little itty bitty triangles because of how small I'm drawing Charmander. And like I said last time in my how to draw videos, I'm not usually going to be coloring because people choose to color stuff different ways than other people, so you can basically put in whatever colors you want. And then towards the back, you put a little curve going down here for Charmander's tongue or the back of the mouth, whatever you want to do there. And then this is the point where I move on to the eyes. The eyes are a little tricky because the front one kind of goes off the front of his head or his face, so it kind of has to be a little bit more precise than everything else. I mean, the fire on Charmander's tail is pretty hard to get done right. But you can do this. And this is how Charmander's eye looked when I drew it the first time. Is you can just do this. And there's one of Charmander's eyes. And then get the next one. Over there like that. I know he looks like kind of a bit of a zombie now, but hush, I haven't put in the pupils yet. So, like I said, then you put in the little white things. I have no clue what the actual official term for those is. But you put in the little white things. And you want to put them towards the outside, like towards the front of his head. Because usually he's going to be looking that way. He's going to be looking like off towards that way to the left. Then you draw these things. His little black things that he has in his eyes. I guess these are the pupils. And you can have more than one white thing if you want to. I only put one just because I don't think it needs that much detail. And I know Charmander's eyes are a little bit more oval, but I kind of didn't want this to be completely exact because you guys can kind of draw him however you want, and I don't want people to feel like their drawings are bad if they're not doing it exactly to this standard. I mean, look at this. This is by no standard good, and I'm using the traditional line method of lining up all the stuff before you even draw it. Alright, so then you make the other thing over here. The little pupil. Like I said, you only put in the one white thing. And then you have Charmander's eyes, and you can make the outsides down here whatever color you want. I made them green. You can see right there. I made the eyes green. But you guys can make them whatever color you want. You can make him a shiny Charmander if you want. You can make him non-shiny. You can make him a blue Charmander if you want. I frankly don't care. Alright, and then you make the back of his head. Well, I should say you fix the back of his head, because you gotta kinda have part of it erased here for his neck. Actually, no, never mind. You do have to have that. But anyway, you have that. And then what you do is you draw another part coming from back here, going down, sort of like a neck. And then you draw the other arm. This is where the other arm comes into play. And go out this way. And actually, this is where you'll see your most common mistake, because not only does this arm have to be as low as this arm, well, not as low, it actually has to be a little higher, but you also have to kind of make sure the back of the head curves in alignment with this neck. So like that, and then you fix any mistake you made. Although the arm needs to be a little bit smaller. Like when you're making this arm on the right side, you want it to go to about bottom of his chin. So like that. And then you curve down kind of like that. And this arm's kind of shorter. Well, no, this arm's longer. But it kind of looks shorter just because the other one's bigger. Because the other one is kind of turned at a different angle. And then you make Charmander's two other fingers. God, I can't talk today. I can never talk for some reason. Alright. So you make his two other fingers. Like that, even though it's a horrible attempt. And then you have Charmander's other arm. This is actually looking better than my other one. How is that possible? And you have second time the charm, maybe. Alright, so then at this point, this is where you can start kind of moving on to like the rest of the body, like the head and all that. But you can fix your face up here and make it to where it has this little thing so you can see the neck. And the reason this is here is because that's like the back of Charmander's neck to where this is the front. Alright. And then what you do is you kind of curve from a little bit away from here, but not all the way, like about that much. And then you go down and you jump around. It's like, nah. But you curve down and then you kind of flatten out near the bottom because that's where the bottom of his stomach is, and it's not all round all the way around. It's not an oval. So then you do like that, and you got part of his stomach. And then, like I said, you go on a little bit over here. And then that's where you can kind of separate and make his stomach come back up. And have the little yellow part of his stomach done. Also, I forgot the eyebrows up here. Charmander has little eye lines they add in anime. He has one of those there. Well, he has two, because they're meant to be eyebrows, but you know what I mean. He are not a Ed. Have any of you guys ever seen Ed, Edd and Eddy? Such a good TV show. Alright, so then at this point, what you can do, since you already know where the stomach is, you can kind of move on to your feet. So you can make part of the front foot here. Front foot, they're both front foot. I should have said right foot. Part of the right foot here. And for that part, you just kind of want to curve going inward like this. So like that. And then for the inside of that leg, you want a straight line going towards the front. Not very long, you only want it to be a little bit. And then you go down. And you make a straight line. But you don't go all the way down because the straight line is going to end up curving into a foot. So, curve into the foot. And then at this point you can put in Charmander's claws, because apparently Charmander has claws on his feet, but not on his hands. Logic. Even though he evolves into Charizard, the freaking ultimate mega non-dragon who should be a dragon, even though Exeggutor's a dragon. Yeah, and that shocked me when I saw that. Like, if any of you guys have seen the Sun and Moon trailers, spoiler alert, Exeggutor becomes a dragon because of his Alola form. Like, what the frick? Charmander has been trying to become a dragon for about how long now? And then they just decide, oh, well, we're going to make Exeggutor a dragon. There's actually a bunch of memes going on around about that. Then you make a little shading down here, and I forgot to put the shading up here. But you make a little shading going on around the inside of this leg and this arm, because that's kind of where shadows come into play, and you don't really see that much. And then you can move on to the other leg, which is over here. And then this leg kind of makes a straight line into an oval. And Charmander's claws are weird, so don't be upset if yours look kind of weird, because they always look weird. So then, you want to kind of make Charmander's leg look like it has a little oval on the bottom, like that. And then you curve up like this. And then you have both of Charmander's legs. And then, once you have this leg, you can kind of see where the connector to the arm is going to go and where the tail is going to go. So, you can put your tail up a little bit higher or a little bit shorter, depending on your preferences. But since I put the line for the tail there, that kind of works out perfectly because it's in a perfect position for me to just draw the rest of the tail. So, it is a little long though, so I can edit that out and fix this. And I was going to do what was it? I was going to do a playthrough of an old Transformers game that I found on my first Kindle, but for some reason I can't get it back from the App Store. It's like the app will be there, but I can't click it. I don't know what to compare that to, but it's like if you want something but you can't get it, it's like out of your reach. It's like you have ice cream on a piece of paper and you want to get the ice cream but you can't. Alright, but anyway, back to Charmander's tail. You go like this, and you want it to kind of curve towards the other end because his tail does get thinner as you go along. And then, as we've all seen in the anime, Charizard has a little flame on his tail, and that did not disappear when he was Charmander. Charmander has always had a flame on his tail. So like that, and then you make the little flame inside to where it's like yellow or blue, depending on however you want to draw it. And then on the bottom of the tail, you've got that little yellow part. And then that's basically it. That's how you draw a Charmander. I know this one's kind of crappy, but I'm basing it off looks of my other one. And my other one was way better. I'll put it up here for comparison. Like, I mean, that's way better than the other one. So, that's basically how to draw a Charmander. If you guys want to draw him, you can, now that you have a draw-through, or if you've always known how to draw him, good for you. You're ahead of the playthrough. So, I'm going to leave this episode here. If there's anything else you guys want to see me draw in the future, let me know down in the comments. Otherwise, it'll just be random every time. And if you like this video, as always, slap the like button, and I'll see you guys later.